Hello, my name is Janet Sadlock and welcome to my kitchen and to my easy cooking videos. Today what I want to show you is a puffy pancake. This has been a popular recipe when I was out doing RV shows. It's really simple. It just has a few ingredients and it puffs up like a popover when you bake it. So what I'm going to start with is I need to just melt some butter. So I'm going to just put the butter in a silicone custard cup, since anything that will work in the microwave I can use here. And so I'm going to just set it in the microwave, and in this oven I will just push minute plus, and I'll take it out early because I know that it will be melted in less than a minute. And so I already have a half a cup of milk measured into a silicone cup. You could use a glass cup as well. I like to do as much mixing as I can in my measuring cups because then I don't have to wash extra dishes. So since the butter is out, I'm going to just clear the oven out, and I want to preheat it. So I'll push on this oven, I push preheat, and then the temperature 400 degrees, and then start. And so the oven will start preheating. This convection oven is very much like a regular oven. The only difference is that it's on 120 volts instead of 220 like your convection oven in your regular range. So I'm going to just add 2 eggs here. So I'll just crack these and put them in. I have brown and white eggs here just because I have children that have chickens, and so they have brown eggs, and then my city eggs are white eggs. So I have a little of both. So put that in. I want to just mix that a bit. So I'm going to use a whisk and just put it down in. You can try to go like this. Takes a little. You can do it faster if you just put it like this in your hand and just go like this, and then it's kind of like a beater in there. So then I'm going to add some sugar and salt, and about half of this butter that I melted. I'm going to save some of the butter to use as a topping. So I just pour in about half of it. I'll put in about a half a teaspoon of vanilla, and I'm just going to use my pour measuring spoons there. That saves on my dishwashing. And then I add a half a cup of flour. So put that in, and then I turn my mixer back on, so just mix it until it's smooth. I'm going to just do it this way a little bit to get all the dry ingredients mixed in there. So I'll go back to this method, finish it up. And then if you use a glass or a metal pan, you'll need to grease that well or butter it well before you put the batter in. Today I'm going to use a silicone pan. And this is a 7.5-inch cake pan, which is just the perfect size for this quantity of batter. This recipe, you can increase it really easily. It's basically for every half cup of milk and flour, it's 2 eggs. So you can go to 3 eggs, to 4 eggs, to 5 eggs. And when you go to the larger quantities, use a larger pan. So this is the smaller pan. This would be a larger pan that you could use with it. So once it's mixed together, then I just pour it into the pan. And then it'll be all ready to go into the oven. The reason I like the silicone pan is because I don't have to grease it, and then the pancake will come out of the pan really easily when it's done. With the metal pan and the glass pan, I have to grease it well, and then I also have to sometimes kind of scrape it to get it out a little bit. So I'm going to I'll just check this and see how close I am. I still have to let it preheat a little bit longer. So I'll do that, and then we'll get ready to put it in the oven. If I want to check and see how hot the oven is, on this oven I can just push convection and it will tell me the temperature. It just dings, so I know that the oven is hot. So I'm going to just put this, if this oven has a rack, and I can take the rack out. So I put the dish on there. I could pick up the dish and put it in the oven, but with this way I can just do it with one hand. So I'll just open the oven door and place the food in. And then with this particular oven, I have to push convection again and the temperature. A lot of the ovens will remember the temperature, and then I just put in the time, which is 22 minutes. So the timing is 20 to 22 minutes. So if you check the down below the description, there'll be links there to some of the silicone dishes and things that I'm using, and also links to the recipe so you can print it out if you'd like. I wanted to give you a quick peek as this is baking. So we'll just open the oven door here briefly, and you can see how it's cooking in there. See how it's puffed up? So we'll close it back up quickly. Okay, it's just a few seconds until the puffy pancake, sometimes it's called pannenkoeken, sometimes Dutch bliss, but just a few seconds before it's done. And there's the bell. So we'll open the oven. And here's the finished pancake. It looks kind of like a Mad Hatter mushroom, right? And so sometimes it'll just come up like a bowl, and then sometimes it bumps up in the middle like this in the center. So I just need to loosen it slightly, and not too much because it's going to come right out, being that it's in the silicone pan. So I just lift it up. It's got a lot of steam underneath there, and we'll move this over out of the way. So you can see it up a little closer here. And then I'm going to put a little, the butter that I saved, I'm going to put just a little honey in with it. And I'm using my invisible measuring spoons again, about half a tablespoon. And then I'll just put this in the oven to melt it. So it'll take about 10 seconds to melt that. And the oven is very hot, so when I put something like that in, I need to be sure that it's a heat-proof dish. So I would need to use a custard cup or the silicone, like the silicone muffin cup. Otherwise, if I put plastic in there, it would melt from the heat that's in the tray that's in the oven. So this is all melted now, and it just kind of mixed together as it melted. So I'll just pour this out onto the pancake. And what I sometimes do is, if I'm really hungry, I could just eat the whole thing. It's got 2 eggs in it, so it wouldn't be inappropriate for a 1 serving. But a lot of times I would just cut it in half, and I use kitchen shears to cut it. So it just cuts like this with the kitchen shears. I won't do all that now since I put the syrup on it. And then if you want to top it with some fresh fruit, I have some strawberries and blueberries here. So I just sprinkle those on. And actually, I usually put the fruit on first and then put the syrup over the top of it. And then if you want to put a little powdered sugar on it, you can do that too. You don't have to do that, but that works as well. So here you have a nice little pancake to impress either yourself or your guests. And you can use it all summer. Just use different fruits and just enjoy.